Hello everyone, and thanks for watching Edupedia Word videos. In this video we are going to talk about the redressal mechanism. Then we are going to answer these questions: what you need to do, how to file a complaint. After that we are going to find out the role of non-governmental organizations, the consumer redressal system in India, the grounds for filing a complaint, consumers' rights and responsibilities. By the end, we are going to sum up what we learned and present you a typical exercise. So let's get started. Now the question arises how a consumer who feels cheated can get justice or relief in the form of compensations. For this, he or she can approach any consumer court by filing a written complaint on his or her own or through a lawyer. The particular court that he or she must approach depends on the value of the commodity. In case of any product, respect of a service valuing up to 20 lakhs, affected consumer can file a written complaint before the district consumer forums. If the value is up to 1 crore, then he or she has to approach the state commission. Finally, for value above 1 crore, the consumer should approach the National Commission for grant of relief. According to CPI, the relief should be given within 150 days, and if a consumer is not satisfied by the decision of the district forum, he or she can challenge the same before the state commissions. If still not satisfied with the order of the state commission, the consumer can go to the national commission. Now, what you need to do, how to file a complaint. For filing a complaint, the aggrieved consumer must always keep the cash memo, receipt or bill of the product he or she has purchased. The format to file a complaint is located on the booklet provided by Consumer Protection. Then the person must select the proper category under which he or she is filing the complaint. These categories are unfair trade practice, deficiency of service, etc. Then the nature of the complaint needs to be explained in simple words. The consumer should be clear about the fault and what he or she wants as a remedy, that is to say, a replacement or a refund or compensation in case of a service. The documents like the receipt or other evidences must be attached along with the complaint. There has to be 3 copies of the entire set, one for the complainant, one for the other party against whom the complaint has been made, and one for the consumer court. Some nominal filing fees have to be paid to the court by the complainant in the form of a demand draft. It should be noted that a complaint should be filed within 2 years of the date on which the defect occurs. This is not dependent on the purchase date. The affected consumer can either appear in person, send a representative or a lawyer, or even a letter. In case a complainant has died, his legal heirs can go to the court. If not satisfied with the decision of the lower court, the person must appeal to a higher court within 30 days of the lower court's order. Remember, however, that the court can fine you up to 10,000 if it thinks that the consumer has filed a frivolous complaint. Check the latest rules by visiting local consumer rights officer or online at the websites. Nowadays, communication through internet has become a way of life, so a person can also make the complaint. Now, what about the role of the non-governmental organizations? In case the producer company seller gives the aggrieved party a cold shoulder, then the role of non-governmental organization has become very important. One can lodge complaints with some NGOs like Consumer Grievance, Consumer Guidance, Society of India, Common Cause, and Consumer Forum. NGOs not only help in filing a case, but also they provide logistic, manpower, and other supports. NGOs also conduct various programs to educate consumers about their rights and responsibilities. One can also approach consumer help organization called Jago, Grahak Jago. Almost every newspaper provides complete information about it through advertisement. The online grievance form can be had by visiting the site. Some other websites for banking, insurance, tax and telecom related problems are, as you can see, 3W Banking, Ombudsman, RBI.org.in, 3w.irdandia.org, and so on. Now let's talk about the grounds for filing a complaint. The deficiency in a service is one of the grounds for filing a complaint under the Act. The term deficiency has been defined as any fault, imperfection, shortcoming, or inadequacy in the quality, nature, and manner of performance which is required to be maintained by or has been undertaken to be performed by a person in pursuance of the contract or otherwise in relation to any service. Compensation has to be paid by the wrongdoer for their faulty or defective goods and services. Consumer rights. The purchase of goods and services entitles you to certain rights as a consumer. They are as follows. 1. Right to information. This right states that sellers and producers should always provide consumers with enough and appropriate information regarding the price, weight, company brand, manufacturing and expiry dates, quality identification marks, ingredients, contact links of the company, and so on, to make intelligent and informed product choices. Here is an example from the services sector. When a customer was trying to find the lowest fare to travel from Delhi to Bangalore, the results of the research indicated airfares from 1,415 onwards. He chose a flight that costs 1,500 rupees plus taxes. He has no idea what the tax component was. As he proceeded with the booking, he got to know that 1,500 rupees is the basic fare, and on that taxes and other fees cost another 3,445, and the final fare will be 4,995. Now, why can the airlines and porters be more honest and transparent with and mention the actual fare clearly at the beginning? Why should they mislead consumers into paying 3 times more than what they first see? You have to be cautious and get full information from such service providers who are concealing part of the information on the basis of which they would later harass the consumers. The second consumer rights is called right to choose. The consumers have the right to choose regarding what to buy and what not to buy. Sometimes, when you receive a service or purchase a good, you cannot do so because you are forced to buy things that you may not wish to. The shopkeeper puts a condition and you are left with no choice. You, as a consumer, lose your right to choose. This is a true story. When Senthil applied for a new gas connection, little did he realize it would be the first step towards a troublesome journey. He walked into the Kumaran gas agency, assuming he would have to pay 1,500 rupees. Instead, he walked out poorer by 7,000 rupees after being forced to buy products he did not really need, such a pressure cooker, gas lighter, even a packet of detergent. The reason? The agency insisted that it was mandatory for a new customer to acquire the whole kit. Senthil complained to Consumer Online Resource and Empowerment Center Core, which sent an email to the agency. Within a week, he was refunded about 5,000 rupees. Contrary to general belief, this customer is a proof that resolving a grievance need not be long and finally draining. The third right is called right to safety. This right provides protection against the marketing of goods that are unsafe to the health and life, for example, adulteration in food, medicines, electronics, and so on. Right to be heard. This right ensures that consumers' interests will be given due consideration in the appropriate forums. This right also empowers the Indian consumers to fearlessly voice their complaints against the defective products and the erring producer or company or seller. The right to seek redressal. In case of cheating, fraud, or any other injustice as explained above, the consumer can get compensation for the damage caused by the unfair and exploitative trade practices. The redressal courts, through their intervention, help consumers get justice. Let us look into some cases where the retailers violate consumers' rights to redressal, particularly in respect to goods bought during sale. A busy doctor bought 3 pairs of trousers at a discounted price of 2,000 rupees each during a sale from a well-known retail brand from a particular outlet. However, to his utter surprise, the fabric just gave way within a few wears, even before it was washed. On his complaint, a person in charge of the company showroom took back 1 pair and said it would be sent to the company's quality cell for testing. A year has passed, and he has neither heard from the company nor got back his trousers. Should the doctor not ask for his money and also for compensation for all the discomfort undergone in purchasing the trousers? The doctor has the right to seek redressal as a consumer. Finally, the right to consumer education. It means to have access to programs and information that help consumers make better decisions before and after purchase. Instructions and guidelines for consumers are issued by the government department and NGOs. This helps the consumers to take right decision with regard to purchase of a commodity, to bring trademarks and logos, authentication marks such as ISI, BIS, and other educational campaigns done in public interest. Now let's talk about consumer responsibilities. Consumer education is not always about rights of the consumers, but also about responsibilities and shouldering them honestly and sincerely. Let us highlight some of the issues here. Dealing with advertisements. Advertisements have become a part and parcel of our lives, and even if we try, we cannot avoid them. Companies are trying to sell their products by making attractive audiovisuals, publishing only that part which may be eye-catching and hiding other crucial information, and so on. Consumers need to be cautious of such deceptive advertisements. Children are the most victims. They need to be guided properly. Buying quality certified products. There are a lot of products which are certified by recognized agencies as safe to consume and good in quality. For example, the Indian Standard Institute conducts quality testing of company consumer goods. If found proper, the product is labeled with ISI mark on it. For many food products, the quality assurance is certified by seal called AG mark. Consumers should choose products with ISI mark and AG mark. A very important thing before purchasing food products or medicines, etc., is that the consumer must see the expiry date. Demanding bill of the purchase. Well, every consumer must demand the bill after purchase of goods and services. The bill is the proof of purchasing and can be used to seek justice if the consumer feels cheated after buying the commodity. Through the bill, the consumer also ensures that the government receives tax on the product because it is mandatory for the seller to mention the tax amount on the bill. Such act of the consumer makes him or her a responsible citizen of the country. Being a green consumer, a consumer must consume those products which do not cause damage to our environment. Plastic bag is one example which has caused serious damage to the environment. People should use biodegradable products which can easily mix with soil and water after they are disposed of. Similarly, people should save electricity, gas, etc. Consumers are also responsible for automobile pollution in town and cities. They should use public transport system and eco-friendly vehicles. Consumers as managers. Consumers can unite together to provide themselves and the community at large of a locality or village some basic needs such as drinking water supply, health, education, etc. It is the government who acts as the manager for delivery of services, but the government departments are often blamed for inefficient and erratic delivery of such services. So consumers can unite to provide such services. Please read the following story. A true story from Gujarat. It has more than 30,000 village Samitis, which are acting as managers of service delivery at the village level. The village Pani Samitis are formed in Gram Sabhas through consumers. They manage their in-village systems for water supply service up to the household level with a strong sense of ownership. They are also testing the quality of water and providing quality insurance up to consumers level. Community engagement for making people as managers has resulted in reducing the cost of delivery, timely and efficient delivery of water, efficient repairs of water supply system, efficient utilization of water resource, innovative tariff mechanism, measures for sustainability of water resources like developing check dams, ponds for recharging of groundwater leading to conservation of water resources in the area. In a vast country like India, consumers have a responsibility to stand by the government. You can also play a constructive role by joining hands with your local water, electricity, sanitation boards through the local federations of your locality or Gram Sabhas of your village. For successful consumer movement, people need to be educated. India is not only highly populated but also culturally diverse and has vast number of illiterates. So bringing consumer awareness is a big task. It is slowly picking up and lots to be done in this regard. Two major concerns are spreading consumer awareness in rural areas of India and timely delivery of justice So let us briefly discuss them below. Consumer awareness in rural India. On account of the globalization and liberalization, increase in middle income and high income population in the villages, our rural markets are also expanding. So companies are reaching with their products to our rural markets as well. But the rural consumers in India are generally ignorant and illiterate. So they are exploited by the manufacturers, traders, and service providers. Rural consumers face problems like fake brands, spurious products, lack warranties and guarantees, imitation, unreasonable pricing, lack of varieties, and so on. There is a need for spreading consumer awareness in the rural areas more seriously. Timely delivery of justice. You know that justice delayed is justice denied. Unlike the civil courts, the consumer courts are quasi-judicial bodies that need to follow a simple summary procedure for quick disposal of complaints. However, repeated adjournments, delays on the part of the state government to fill up the posts of judges, and unnecessary technicalities slow down the process of justice for the consumers. Delays often take away the essence of the law. So please read the following case that illustrate these points. Following loss of yield during the sowing season of 1993 due to defective hybrid cotton seeds sold to them, 130 farmers from Maharashtra filed a class action suit seeking compensation. Eventually, they won the case, but it took 14 years, during which time 10 farmers had died. The government amended CPA in 2003 to eliminate such delays. Accordingly, consumer courts are not to give adjournments at all. In exceptional circumstances where it is given, the court has to record the reasons for it in writing and justify it. So note what you have learned. Consumer awareness includes knowledge of the products purchased along with their effects on health and environmental and consumer rights and responsibilities. Need for consumer awareness arises due to several reasons, such as bad quality of goods and services sold, selling without providing bill, misleading advertisement, lack of complete information about the product and producer or the seller, environmental pollution due to mindless and wasteful compensation, etc. Consumer redressal system comprises of the laws to protect the interests of the consumers and the institutions to enforce the laws to uphold consumers' rights. Consumer Protection Act is the most important legislation to protect interests of the consumers. The Central Consumer Protection Council at the national level and State Consumer Protection Council at the state level are government institutions which deal with consumer issues. NGOs also provide help. For redressal of grievances, there are 3 layers of consumer courts in India, with the District Consumer Forum at the bottom, State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission at the mid-level, and an apex body known as National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission at the top. A complaint can be filed by the affected consumer concerned or through a representative or through a letter in a prescribed form giving the nature of complaint and the bill within 2 years of purchase. A nominal fee must also be paid in the court. Consumers' rights in India include right to information, right to safety, right to choose, right to be heard, right to redressal, and right to consumer education. Consumers responsibilities include not to be misled by advertisement, seek complete information for empowerment, checking the expiry date, quality assurance, seal, demanding bill, avoiding wasteful and mindless consumption, protecting the environment, etc. Now I will present you a terminal exercise. First question: why there is a need for consumer awareness? 2. What you must do as an aggrieved consumer to file a complaint. 3. Describe the consumer redressal system in India. 4. Give the provisions of Consumer Protection Act. 5. Discuss in brief the rights of consumers in India. 6. What you must do as a responsible consumer. 7. Explain two major challenges facing consumer movement in India. So this is the end of this chapter and the part. Thank you very much for your attention.